Hi, I'm John Belizaire, CEO of Soluna Holdings, and welcome to our second quarter fiscal year 2024 results and business update. Before we begin, I'd like to start with a legal preamble. The following content is completely qualified by the legal disclosures on the slide following this one, and our goal is to share with you some of our strategic thinking and financial analysis we are using to guide the growth of our business. The content is in line with our principles of being accountable and transparent with our shareholders. We operate in a hyperdynamic environment, and that's a fancy way of saying things change quickly. What we are telling you here is based on our estimates and assumptions, which are our best guess, and we reserve the right to advise or revise our point of view based on our new information and changes in the business environment. Despite an uncertain, dynamic environment, we must plan and make operating and investment decisions, and this presentation lays out some of that for you where appropriate. This year, we're focused on 4 key initiatives. The first is launching AI. We have a 2 megawatts of a Project Dorothy site slated for our Helix pilot, and we're focusing on building next generation data centers for AI. We also have a growing number of other projects throughout our portfolio as well. And in this initiative, we're also focusing on partnering with industry leaders to bring this capability online. The second is optimizing projects. Our existing operating facilities, we've been focusing on achieving operational excellence, targeting our budgeted EBITDA, and maintaining a high level of customer satisfaction and success in the use of our facilities. The third is financing projects. We have a number of projects and opportunities before us, and raising financing to support that growth is a big focus for us, particularly in our AI business. And the fourth is continuing to grow our ever-expanding pipeline. We aim to double our assets under management to 150 megawatts by the end of fiscal year 2024 and into 2025. And we're also focusing on the construction and energization of the second phase of Dorothy, Project Dorothy 2. We're going to energize 48 megawatts of that starting this summer and continuing into 2025. And of course, we're focused also on the development and groundbreaking activities, ultimately around Project Kati and a number of more projects in our pipeline as well. I would now like to take you through the highlights of our Q2 2024 results. First, in Q2, we had strong revenue growth. Revenue increased by 362% to $9.7 million in the second quarter of 2024, compared to $2.1 million in the second quarter of 2023. We had significant decrease in operating losses. Operating loss significantly improved to $3.7 million, a substantial 48% reduction from the $7.1 million operating loss in the second quarter of 2023. Our adjusted EBITDA was also strong. It ramped to $1.8 million compared to the second quarter of 2023 of a $2.0 million loss. An increase of $3.8 million driven by strong revenue growth and cost discipline through the Bitcoin halving. We also had strong cash growth. Unrestricted cash increased from 50% from the end of 2023, reaching $9.6 million last quarter. We also had a number of operational highlights from Q2. First is our HP Enterprise partnership. Soluna has partnered with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise to launch Soluna Cloud, our new AI business unit. By utilizing Soluna Cloud, enterprise customers can rapidly deploy their AI workloads on a more sustainable and scalable platform, making it possible to leverage renewable energy, direct liquid cooling, and heat waste recovery that makes all of this possible. The second is we signed a power purchase agreement with EDF Renewables. Project Kati is Soluna's second renewable computing data center that's based in Texas, and it will be co-located at a wind project that's owned by EDF Renewables and Masdar. Project Kati will be executed in 2 phases, and each phase delivering at least 83 megawatts of renewable energy capacity to power high-performance computing applications, including AI. The third is we completed the demand response period in the spring. As part of the demand response plan, Soluna earned $1.2 million year to date at Project Dorothy. And then finally, we continued to reduce the balance on our convertible debt. Driven by strong share price momentum and trading volume, convertible note holders reduced their principal balance from $7.7 million at the end of the first quarter 2024 to $5.3 million at the end of the second quarter 2024. I am also honored to share that over the past year, we have successfully diversified our business into the 4 major quadrants we've laid out in the past. Soluna now makes money doing the following. We provide Bitcoin mining through joint ventures that are owned machines through partners. We sell the Bitcoin and generate revenue there, and we provide managed infrastructure services. That's the top left part of the quadrant. We also host Bitcoin miners. That's essentially providing power, space, and services to third-party machine owners at Soluna data centers. There we provide managed infrastructure services to those entities for revenue. On the top right, we also launched our demand response services last year. Here we're compensated as acting as a behind-the-meter flexible load for the grid, and we're paid on a dollars per megawatt hour basis by the utility or the grid operator. And then the last and most exciting development the company has expanded into is the high-performance computing space, or AI. Here we provide 2 types of services: GPU Cloud, where we deliver AI, ML, simulation, visualization, and a host of other applications powered by GPU clusters that enterprises can rent. And we also provide co-location services in exchange, or hosting services in exchange for revenue as well. And that's provided to enterprise customers, new AI labs, etc. Our HPE partnership allowed us to launch that business, and we expect to begin growing that business over time, both in the partnership and new facilities that we build out at our renewable energy projects. Let's take a closer look at the numbers. The second quarter revenue of $9.7 million and the fourth quarter of positive adjusted EBITDA showcase our resilience, reflecting only a 22% revenue decrease compared to the first quarter of 2024, and despite the challenges posed by Bitcoin halving in April, which drove the lower adjusted EBITDA as expected. The second quarter resulted in a revenue increase of 362%, as I mentioned earlier, compared to the second quarter of 2023. Taking a closer look, crypto mining revenue increased by $3.6 million compared to the second quarter of 2023, when Project Sophie switched from data hosting and Project Dorothy 1B was energized in the third quarter of 2023. Data hosting revenue also increased by approximately $3.7 million compared to the second quarter of 2023, and primarily related to the energization and deployment of hosting contracts at Project Dorothy 1A and Project Sophie in 2023. Let's take a closer look at profit. Gross profit from the first quarter of 2023 decreased by $2.8 million, while revenue declined by $2.9 million. This certainly highlights the company's cost management practices and discipline that we've been implemented over the past year. Gross profit improved by $4.5 million as Project Sophie pivoted to data hosting and Project Dorothy reached full energization. Cost of revenue either met or exceeded expectations, enabling strong gross profit growth from a loss of $390,000 for the second quarter of 2023 to $4.1 million for the second quarter of 2024. So again, if you compare Q2 2023 to Q2 2024, there's a market increase of $4.5 million in gross profit. But if you compare Q1 to Q2, there's a reduction, primarily due to the reduction in the top line as we presented in the prior slide. But the key point here is we were able to continue to control costs at the operating site level. Now, we always take you through a bridge of the change in G&A costs. The increase in G&A expenses of the company are a result of expenses that were incurred to really support the future growth of the company. As you can see, we have a number of opportunities ahead of us on the AI side, Project Kadi, Dorothy 2, and we've been investing in human capital, both on the existing team and new team members, as we kick off the Dorothy 2, which will result in expenses incurred in the second quarter and continued development for other key projects. And the graph is really reflecting some of these company investments. So if you look at the 3 months ending June 2024 compared to the 3 months ending June 2023, essentially you have G&A expenses exclusive of depreciation and amortization increasing by $1.2 million or 30%. Our stock compensation decreased by approximately $600,000 to an acceleration of grants and awards in May of 2023, which didn't occur for the first 3 months ended of June 2024, June 30th, 2024. We had $900,000 in employee-related expenses due to an increase in resources and salaries of approximately $515,000, and in anticipation of hitting performance-based targets of approximately $365,000. Legal fees increased by approximately $248,000. The increase is due to legal work related to projects Dorothy 2 and other development projects. The company also took a provision for expected credit loss for approximately $240,000. Investor relations increased by $197,000 due to the company implementing a series of investor acquisition and influencer marketing programs to attract new investors to the company. And of course, professional services or fees associated to audit and tax increased by $177,000 due to additional costs related to subsidiary audits. So we audit our project level companies and also tax preparation for those subsidiaries. Now let's look at adjusted EBITDA and its relationship to revenue. Adjusted EBITDA continues a positive trend in the second quarter, lower than the first quarter by $3.4 million, of which $2.9 is due to revenue decreases, mostly associated with the halving, and $500,000 associated to G&A expenses to support the company's growth. I think the key point is that we've nailed gross profit, even in spite of the Bitcoin halving. G&A is still very strong relative to the current trajectory of the company, and we have invested in expenses to help drive the growth of the company. Thank you for taking the time to review Q2 fiscal year 2024 business update with me and financial results. I encourage you to download the full presentation where you can see the consolidated balance sheet and updates there. You also see conversion to GAAP measures in the appendix of that deck, and a host of other detailed information, including operating P&Ls. There is a full company overview in the deck that takes you through our current business and business strategy, updates on the project, and key operating metrics. And I also encourage folks to take a peek at the current pipeline. Thank you, as always, to our investors and shareholders for their patience with the company and supporting us over the last 24 months. And I encourage folks to follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course to subscribe to our newsletter. Thanks again. See you next time.